Welcome to MTMG's IT Roundtable, where we bring the power of human connections to the tech world. Our experts become part of your team, so whatever tech problem is keeping you up at night, we can help you solve it.
Today, I'm incredibly excited to introduce a new addition to the MTMG team, Kabir Roy. Kabir brings over 2 decades of experience in digital transformation and customer experience for global giants like BlackRock, Qualys, and Ford. He's a strategist who has seen the evolution of tech from the early days of usability consulting to the current AI revolution. What truly highlights his entrepreneurial spirit, however, is his journey with Pitster, a social network for ideas that led him to be a contestant on the very first season of Shark Tank India. Kabir is joining us to help bridge the gap between AI capability and actual human experience, ensuring that technology serves the user rather than just adding to the noise. Outstanding. Kabir, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Paul, for that amazing introduction. And I think equally thrilled to be part of this amazing team. And I think the journey has been long, but I'm glad I met amazing people in the way, like yourself. So pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It is always good to be able to work with good people. Now, I'm saying we're fortunate to be able to have found people like you, so I truly appreciate it. You started your career in the mid-2000s at Wipro and Reliance, moving between the worlds of engineering and design. Looking back at those early days, what was the light bulb moment that made you realize that great technology is worthless if the user experience is broken?
That's a great question, Paul. And I think one of the things I remember from back in those days, it's been 2 decades on the field. And when you get gray on the field, you tend to forget. But here is what I clearly, distinctly remember. And the pattern stays the same across. Back in those days, right, the world fell in love with strong software, right, and robust software. There were features coming in, there were automations coming in, and we were digitizing, we were transforming, and we were doing many things with software back then. And the UI generation came in, right, where user was in control. And this was the first time when we saw end users actually reacting with your product and taking decisions and kind of playing a co-pilot role in software, right? And that's when the challenge became tougher because most of the earlier days, it was all engineered product rather than designed product. And that's when the whole thing started building up. The UX user experience came into existence. And I, being an engineer, for me, I always used to wonder, hey, if I am finding it so complex, what about my users who are going to use it? And that's where I wanted to dive into this field and kind of not just learn, be a subject, be a student of the subject, but also deliver products, be in control of what my users can feel the emotion. So that's when precisely I felt that I should be pursuing this field further.
I think it's clear that you get something that a lot of people don't, from my perspective, and that is thinking about the client first. What is their experience? How does this affect them? It's not just about building something with the right features or the right bells and whistles. It's really about, are you solving a problem?
True.
Are you taking care of something they need? And that has to be the first and foremost thing we think about. And so often I see developers getting in love with, oh, look at all these fancy features I built into this tool, and it has nothing to do with whether the client is actually really going to use that or not. It's about how much they think this is a great tool. So having your perspective be there, focusing on the client, I think is outstanding. So thank you so much. I have to bring up your experience with Shark Tank India. You're pitching Pitster, a platform for protecting and nurturing ideas during a period of intense personal recovery. What did the high-stakes experience teach you, and distance between having a noble idea and building a sustainable business?
Thanks for bringing that up, Paul. And I think Pitster was a very close to my heart project. And I think every product ideator or anybody who has been in that seat at some point wants to give back to the world with the intelligence that they have gathered so far, with with a passion, and it was a passion project for us. So Shark Tank India had come first time to India, and I didn't want to miss out the first season. And I and my wife, we started working on it together, ideating, and how do we do this? It's a platform that I was trying to build to give ideas a platform. What I mean, so there is a lot of ideas happening around the world, and I feel that yeah, till date they don't have a platform to kind of bring it up. So that's what we were building, and I think Shark Tank One loved it, and they wanted to call me. But there was an unfortunate accident that happened during that phase, and it taught me a lot about my capability to sustain my grit. I still went with braces on and to present, but I couldn't get selected. But that's fine. I think one thing that and it's a long story, so cutting it short and coming down to your question, I think one thing that you learn and I think everybody should experience this phase in their life, right? One thing that you learn definitely when you are dealing with a personal recovery and a high stake passion project as what I was building is I should have chosen a stronger and a bigger team to go into this with the right people. I think if I had fallen and I had a backup, my wife was also emotionally attached to me during that phase. So she was going through a lot of trauma. So if I had a partner who was in my co-finding team, I think that would have been amazing. Besides the other things, right? The project that I built was primarily not revenue ready, I would say. We didn't tap in how we wanted to bring in the revenue in the first phase. Also, I think that's another piece I think this experience taught. And this was very early, and I think after that we did a lot.
Well, I think you're right in what you've learned. But one of the things I don't want to lose sight of is that showed incredible character and strength on your part and your wife's part to continue to go through it, even though it was at great personal risk. I mean, you were I won't get into the details, but maybe we can set up a separate
Yeah.
article or something about talking about it and maybe share a picture or two like you've shown me. But you had a significant injury and yet still found a way to go and deliver your pitch because you knew it was this thing. This was a once in a lifetime opportunity, really. And you were able to rally the strength and go and do it. I think that speaks an awful lot to your character. Yes, things can always be done better, but I wouldn't want to lose sight that this shows an awful lot about you.
Thank you.
So kudos to you that you did. It's very impressive.
Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. You often speak about the AI experience
Mhm.
gap. Right now, it feels like every company is randomly using AI everywhere, or every product that gets developed is powered by
Yeah.
AI, even when it really isn't. In your view, why is the industry repeating the same mistakes of the early 2000s, and how do we fix it?
Yeah. So this is an interesting juncture we are in, Paul, and I'm glad you brought it up. I do write a lot about this because I feel that there's not enough being talked about the problem. Though we know, I mean, all my colleagues who have been through this journey, they know what we're doing. But I think it's a race to the which mountain, and everybody wants to be at the top. So I think for AI being introduced in each and every place. I think what we're trying to do is what we used to do in the early 2000s or before that, right? It was get more features, get more automation, but without fixing the complexity below the layer. So and what used to happen in those days as well, and it's the pattern is repeating, is when you add more intelligence on top. So it's consider it like this, right? You have a bully in the class, right? And you just make him more stronger without solving his character as a person, right? Without saying, hey, this is not supposed to be done. But instead of that, you just bulk him up, you put more gears to him. What does the bully do? He will just go around and bully more people. It's the simple thing with softwares. Let's take complexity as one of the characters we don't want in a software or we don't want in a tech digital tool, right? We want it to be simple. We want it to be just out there, your users to enjoy using it or you not even feel the pain or the friction while going through it. If we don't solve that issue and we just put AI on top of it and make it more powerful, We are just amplifying the complexity rather than solving it. So that's something which deeply bothers me, because that's something which we have been doing for last 2 decades as UX experts, as CX specialists. That's what we have been trained to do. And today the industry is just thinking that, hey, if we put AI on top of a complex system, it just makes it better. Where, well, it doesn't. And if we have time to answer this question ahead, I can give you an example I recently had with one of the AI chatbots. So I had a baby boy recently, and he is
Hmm.
6 months old now. So the toddler basically got his swing broken in 6 months. I don't know what he's doing. So I got a small swing for him, and he broke it. And I had bought it online. So I happened to call the I won't name the company, but I called them, and I was waiting online, and there is this AI person talking to me, right? And she's like, "Hey, I am your friend, and what do you want me to answer? Name the product." The product name was very difficult for me to pronounce because it's a imported Chinese product. So I was like, okay, and I tried to pronounce it 3 4 times, and being with the Indian accent, it couldn't get what I'm trying to say. In spite of that, when it got it, it said, "You didn't buy this product, so I don't have anything out here. I can't help you." I said, "Okay, but I have broken this product, and why I bought it on this date." Did not answer. Then finally, after around, I'll try to crunch it, right? After around 15 20 minutes of talking with a machine, I happen to continuously tell the lady that I make me speak to a human, and it was trained to say, "Well, I can handle your problems. You can let me know, sir." And it was so frustrating, and it's amazing. And then I somehow happened to go through this whole journey, and I went to the human and I spoke to the human, and that person just solved the issue in 2 seconds. So what we are
Hmm.
trying to do here is we are not trying to reduce the friction. We are just adding intelligence on top of already intelligent human beings. So what I to do, and that's which what I wanted to bring up with an example, real life example. So
I have to be honest, I think we've all faced that exact same
yeah,
dilemma. And, kind of arguing with an AI only takes you so far. And my wife laughs at me when I start arguing with one of the tools we build and it says, "Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that." And there's just a part of me that thinks, but at the fundamental level, you are a piece of
yeah,
software. And how is it that you keep making some of these odd mistakes? But it's all in how the AI is built. But you're right. There is a level of humanness or ability to think creatively that allows us to easily solve a customer service problem that AI is not anywhere near ready for yet. It can handle the volume of these simple
mhm,
requests, but when it goes outside of its training, it is not
not
there
there.
yet. But I think you shared something that
Yeah,
we've all
I want.
felt
Yes.
viscerally. So at MTMG, we talk a lot about sitting on the same side of the table as
Mhm.
our clients. When you are looking at a client's product journey, how do you determine if they actually need a new AI tool or if they just need to simplify the human touch points they already have?
I think, Paul. First of all, I really love the idea of sitting on the same side of the table, because it's 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 something lacking in the consulting business, right? It's we have become so mechanized. I think I let's blame it on AI because we are interacting with AI, right? And my wife complains about this a lot. She's like, "You constantly talk with the AI, and you talk to me as if I'm an AI." So let's blame it on the AI. So, but anyways, jokes apart, I think one thing that definitely is connected to our previous question discussion, right? So when you say a client needs an AI, right? I first try and understand why do you need it, right? Instead of just saying, okay, let's get this and let's get that. Because the biggest thing that we need to understand is the entire existence of digital interface is to ensure that the entire journey of a human being with a system is easy, is frictionless, and it achieves what he or she wants to achieve in limited time period, right? And how efficient it can be done with. And now if we ignore all of that and start talking about what technology, because see, at the end of the day, AI is AI, right? And how you want to impose it on your system depends on the way you want to design the interaction with your end user or a customer. And a lot of businesses actually And I always believe in this. Businesses end up investing a lot in tech rather than in understanding their users, and then pay double the
Hmm.
price of repairing the journey with all this tech around there. So I just don't understand why things haven't changed over the last 20 years, and it has reduced. But I see this whole movement happening again, and it's a vicious cycle. So I think somewhere consultants like us, somewhere people from MTMG should come forward, and we should like kind of discuss it out with our end users and customers, saying, hey, why do you need the AI? Do you want this to be more intelligent, or is it intelligent enough? Can we reduce the complexity below it? Can we take away the pain point, right? Can we help you focus on things which really matter, rather than understanding the new flow? A lot of the tension that I'm seeing right now between humans and systems which are highly intelligent with AI as per the norm is that there is a whole new workflow that's evolving. Have you noticed that, Paul? There is a whole new workflow when
Hmm.
you talk to systems or work with systems which have AI embedded in it. And that's the complexity we are introducing on top of an already complex world.
I think that's a very good point. And it is interesting how people are adjusting themselves, and whether they know it or not, to work with these systems when AI is built in. It is a completely different method of working with that system than if it was not. So, very interesting point. You've suggested that the future might involve moving away from traditional UIs and toward invisible, client based systems. How should business leaders prepare for a world where their customers might never actually see their website or app?
Okay, so this is right out of the sci-fi genre, and I think it's happening, right? I mean, everything we have seen in sci-fi, a lot of things are happening, and it's amazing how the world is adapting to it. We are rushing through it with a lot of global movements happening. There's a lot of rush to get there, but I think one thing I have always spoken about to my mentees in my past as well, and because what happens is when you're in a creative field, right, you tend to read and you tend to adapt to a lot of futuristic tech. And I have been working in new tech for a long time now. So I think coming back to your point, right, I think there everything that we interact with the computer world, which is when I say digital world, every human touch point is actually an interface, right? Be it your laptop, be it your phone, be it your digital screen, be it the AR or the VR, or any interactive space that we enter ourselves to interact with a computer or a non-human intelligence. The era we are in right now is where we are trying to not just introduce AI into the system, we are also trying to evolve AI to understand our behavior, right? So when that happens, the ultimate goal will be not to interact with an interface, right? Because that's how easy the interactivity or the augmentation needs to be. Because at the end of the day, we are trying to augment ourselves with a super intelligent power so that we can do our jobs better. And that's the topic that I always is intriguing for me. And when I talk to a lot of my mentees and a lot of my colleagues is how will we interact with the computer world without having control with us? Because till now we have control. We know how when to
Hmm.
click the button, or imagine all of that going away, right? So
Hmm.
it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of training, and that's exactly where AI experience needs to come into play, because you don't want to dump all of a sudden a heavy complexity on a world that is not ready for it. And I think the next evolution of UX, CX should be AIX, which is basically the artificial intelligence experience. When I say experience here is how you interact with a system which is artificial intelligence ready.
Hmm. Well, I think it's something that I've seen a lot of people working on, not necessarily from the perspective you've been taking, but also from the perspective of the interface slows down the communication because we have to stop and type, and then we have to go fix the misspellings that we do, or using our voice is not always easy or not always appropriate in an office. we're trying to find the best way to interact, to share intelligence or share ideas with our tools or with our colleagues. And that is one of the critical things that is a challenge right now. But what I like what you're talking about, that it's trying to kind of get past that to the point where the AI knows enough about what we're doing that it can be there for us. So fascinating stuff. And as always, every time I talk to you, I come away thinking this was just an awfully fun conversation. So thank you so much for joining us today. This was great.
Thank you, Paul. I think it's a pleasure, or as always, talking to you. And this entire conversation there's a lot that we can speak about, and I think we just touched based on the tip of the icebergs, and we should do this pretty often. But this is exciting to know that a lot of folks around the globe is talking about it. And I wanted to end this with, I always used to say to my team back there is, if you rock the boat hard enough, you can change the direction. And I think that's where this is coming from. And this is an amazing chat we had today. Thank you.
Oh, I'm going to have to save that. If you rock the boat hard enough, you can change the direction. I love it. What a great way to end. Thanks so much.
Pleasure talking. Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of today's conversation. Thank you for joining us. If today's discussion resonated with you, please consider giving us a 5-star review. Your feedback not only supports our show, but also helps others find us. Thank you so much for listening to MTMG's IT Roundtable. We look forward to bringing you more conversations soon. Until then, take care, and know our team is always here to help. Slanchawa.
MTMG, guidance that empowers.